Calling into session the Executive and Governance Committee. It's dictated by rules and bylaws. The three people that are on it is the audit, the chair, and the vice chair. So, Mr. Secretary, if you call the roll.
Trustee DeLay.
Present.
Trustee Freeman.
Present.
Chairman Smith.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Have we reviewed the minutes, and is any changes, or are we okay?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Aye. Unanimous that we approve the minutes. Proposed board policy revision request to address the board. Mr. Floyd, Mr. Secretary, sir.
Yes. Previously, this committee and the board had discussions regarding the time frame to submit written materials to the board in advance of requests to appear. The board had decided to adjust that from 7 days to 14 days. This is a change in the policy that reflects that, and that will be the first action. And I'll go ahead and address the next tab, if I may,
Please, and we'll take them at the same time.
since it also addresses the same provision, but it's a board bylaw. So we have to address that specifically due to our bylaw rules. And I will note that this will require a roll call vote since we are making an adjustment to the bylaws and related policy that flows from that. The only other substance on the second matter related to the bylaws is a title change. And typically that's something that my office would do. But again, it's an adjustment to the bylaws, and as such, the committee is required to make that change. Are there any questions?
So then, it also then goes to the board, correct?
Yes.
Council, I was a part of the discussions about the 7 to 14 day rule, Mr. Chairman. And after having done some research with other institutions, for example, University of Tennessee at Knoxville has a 3-day. And it seems to me going from a 7-day to a 14-day, it's going to make it more difficult for people to get on the agenda. And also, I hadn't found any, the next paragraph, it says the request will be discussed between the chair and the president, and at least 3 business days in advance of the meeting. The secretary will notify the requester of the request has been approved or provide written reasons why it's not. I hadn't seen any other university that's monitoring using the chair and the president to monitor who gets to speak before the board. And so I would not be in a support of that, the 14 days, or continuing with anybody who comes to speak before us got to be approved by the president and the chair. I just think we're a public institution. Taxpayers come before us. We should make it easier for them to do that. We should make it easier for our students to come before us, and other universities are doing exactly that. I just throw that out there, Mr.
The rationale, good or bad, was last time, if you remember, we had a request. It was on time and in perfect good order, but we didn't have time to put it on the agenda, or we put the agenda out early. Do I have a motion to approve this?
So moved.
I'll second that. So let's have a roll call.
So can I just make a comment to Trustee Freeman's concern about having the chairman choose the agenda or review the agenda request? I think you have to presume that the chairman is going to act in good faith. The concern that I would have by eliminating that kind of sort of safety net, for lack of a better term, is that it provides an opportunity for tremendous abuse.
Yes.
If all you need to do in order to get on a board agenda is to submit a request, you could anticipate a situation where someone jams up the agenda and there is absolutely no way to screen those requests for legitimacy.
Absolutely.
That can, and crazy times that are going on. I think my firm belief as someone who's been in your seat in a company, is that it's not open season on putting items on the agenda, that there has to be some sort of a review process.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've seen that as well. And
I've seen that in private companies, but we're a public university that receives taxpayer dollars. And if taxpayers want to come get on the agenda, we also have some other limitations in here in terms of we can only spend 60 minutes having people speak before us. And so
But there's no safety net, Trustee Freeman.
I'm going to err on the side of allowing our students to come speak before it.
And I think that there can be an understanding, I think there is, in any member of this Board of Trust, that they operate in good faith. If they don't operate in good faith, I think that becomes a separate conversation. But I just wanted to be on the record as saying that I do think that it is a legitimate role of a chair to work with the secretary to determine how an agenda.
I think it says the chair and the president, not the chair and the secretary. It says the chair and the president.
It does say the chair and the president, and that is a decision that this board can make as to how they want to disseminate that responsibility.
Because what if the person that's coming before has some news that the chair and the president don't like? And so.
There's never been a request turned down.
So my point is this, our competitors don't have this in theirs. They have University of Tennessee at Knoxville, 3 days.
It's a different governance model. It is a different governance model. It is not this governance model.
Great.
Thank you. Let's
Call the question.
I'll call for the question.
Trustee DeLay?
Approve.
Trustee Freeman?
Nay.
Chairman Smith?
Approved.
Motion passes. And
Next,
there will need to be a second motion with regards to the bylaw.
did you make that motion? I didn't hear a
Previous
second.
motion was
Just a
made.
comment.
Previous motion was made by Trustee DeLay and seconded by you, Chairman Smith.
That'd be fine. Yes.
I'm sorry.
We need to make it again, Trustee DeLay.
So moved.
Same change though, right? Changing the bylaws from 7 days to 14 days?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So moved.
I'll second. Call for question.
Trustee DeLay?
Approve.
Trustee Freeman?
Nay.
Trustee Smith?
Approved.
Motion carries.
Now we have a.
Excuse me.
Proposed board bylaws revision.
Chairman, I have a question about the piece about moving it from 7 days to 14 days.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the rationale provided is that to get it on the meeting agenda, and I'd like to know specifically what the barrier was to getting it in within a week on the meeting agenda.
It could very well been we sent the agenda out too early. But we sent an agenda out and then got a request, and this would give us enough time. This isn't one I'd fight over. It's given us enough time to have the materials and have it put on the agenda.
Is this something that occurs frequently, that a week isn't enough time to get it on the agenda?
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
No, I will answer that. No, it hasn't. And we've had a situation where we have made a discretion that gave the benefit to the requester. So, as Trustee Koboyak said, it has to do with, the chairman, the president, and the secretary making decisions that is in the best interest of the board. I don't anticipate any issue with that.
I will say from the perspective of a student, I think students and faculty that are making requests to be heard by the board, we should assume that they're acting in good faith, that they're taking all the time they need to put together a thorough presentation and do their research. And so I think that the more time we can give them in 7 days to get it on the agenda seems reasonable for me. And so I think that it would be a barrier for what it's worth, is my comment from a student perspective. For instance, if I were to make a motion or to make a request to come and speak to the board, that I would want as much time as possible to prepare. And I understand there's a reasonable time period that needs to be allowed for the chairman and the secretary to confer and screen it. And I agree with that, but I think 14 days seems unreasonable, and we should give as much leeway to our students in terms of being able to put together a thorough presentation with everything else that they have going on.
Well,
Trustee Gabriel,
thank you, but, I mean, we've been over this.
yeah, Trustee, I do want to say this. It will be discussed between the chairman and the president, not between the chairman and the secretary.
Chairman and the president, excuse me.
Will be able to come before the board to speak. And appreciate your input as a student.
Yeah, I know I'm a non-voting member, but just wanted to.
No, I appreciate
Input
that.
as a
And
student.
we've had a couple that we've never turned down a request. So,
Mr. Chairman, I think part of the issue is people on here are busy, they're traveling and so forth. 7 days sometimes will not give us time to even review the materials that's coming before us. If we're traveling, if we're busy, we've got other obligations. So it does give us ample time to review what's coming before us. I do support it. So thank you.
thank you. We got a bylaws revision, and I think, Secretary, you're up on that.
Well, we have addressed the bylaws revision with that second vote on the motion.
Okay, well, good.
Call for the vote.
You're ahead of me. Self-evaluation. That's you as well.
Yes, as the board is aware, we are required, or you are required, to conduct a self-evaluation to comply with our sex requirements for accreditation. Previously, the board adopted the instrument that you'll find in tab 4 and conducted a self-evaluation in 2019. The time has come upon us again to conduct a self-evaluation. Tab 4, you will find a copy of the evaluation tool. Previously, this was made available to you via SurveyMonkey. We have not determined what would be the appropriate vehicle, but a similar vehicle or SurveyMonkey may be utilized this time as well. But at this point, Mr. Chairman, the board needs to approve the evaluation tool identified in tab 4 here.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It's unanimous.
Motion carries.
Motion carries unanimously. We have one item left.
In tab 5, beginning on page 29, outline is the proposed schedule for the self-evaluation. We have already adopted the tool here today. The next step would be the meeting of the board in September, and at that point, if it's approved at that point, we would make the self-evaluation available to the board for responses, and then we would tabulate or collect that information and make it available for presentation to the board at its November meeting. And the goal is to implement this schedule on a biennial basis. Previously, there was some lag time, and I think that was due to the coronavirus, between the execution of the tool and then the review. So hopefully we can get on schedule here going forward. But this is the proposed schedule that you have before you.
Motion to approve the schedule.
So, I'm sorry, I'm a bit slow this morning, not enough caffeine. The board approves on the 14th, right?
Yes.
That's the plan. And then it issues immediately thereafter?
Yes, my office will be responsible for issuing it, making it available to the board.
And then the deadline for the trustees responding is when?
We would have to establish a time frame. I think it would need to be at the latest early November.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because if now you have a November 9th Executive and Governance Committee meeting review, when do you have, what's the deadline for getting the responses back from the trustees?
If I can ask Mary Hoshwelly to please come forward and address your question.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. To address your question, ma'am, the board would establish the timeline. This committee, rather, would establish the timeline.
So the November 9th date is a placeholder?
Yes, so you would have to have everything administered, and you set the time frame.
So you'd
We're going
have
to
to-
start at this date, end at this
You have to
date, and then
backcast
you have
to
it
November
back
9th.
in order so it can be reported on
So
November.
probably sometime in October.
In October.
Right, but it's, yeah,
Yes.
that would be the committee's
Okay.
decision.
Yes, and we'll be recommending to the chair, for consideration of the committee, we'll be recommending the dates that logistically will allow us to follow and meet those deadlines. Trustee Cabral.
It might be of interest to our new board members, but your votes are 100% confidential. Secretary only gets the results from SurveyMonkey, and the results, tabulation, is public. But if you say you don't like something or do like something, that's confidential, and so you can have complete confidence that what you are saying is in good faith. Now, do we have a motion and a second?
Yes, we do.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I think that concludes. Or is there one more?
One information.
Yeah, just,
And the following tab, I'm sorry. No, I was just making reference that the following tab was just for information purposes. The previous self-evaluation from 2019 is just for your information. You've previously discussed this item, but just so you're aware of the previous results.
Thank you. That's going to conclude this committee, and we'll take a 3-minute break, and then we'll finish up.